Malaysia Airlines confirmed that this flight MH370 lost contact with Subang Air Traffic Control at 2:40 a.m. this morning. There has been speculation that the aircraft has landed at Nanning.
After takeoff at 1:06 a.m., the plane sends an automatic computer report on its position, flying on course with enough fuel for another 6 to 7 hours of flight. At 1:19 a.m., Captain Shaw made the final radio call as the plane left the Malaysian airspace, signaling he had given control of the plane to First Officer Farik Abdul Hamid. 3 minutes later, at 1:22 a.m., MH370 stopped responding and both transporters were offline, making it undetectable by air traffic control. Vietnamese air traffic control attempted to make contact with the cockpit many times with no answers. By 5:30 a.m., 26 countries had joined the search with more than 50 ships and 60 aircrafts, but no debris was found at the last radar sighting by air traffic control. 2 days later, military radar records showed that MH370 made a sudden turn before reaching Vietnam, looping back towards Malaysia and flying over Langkawi Island, an area well known to First Officer Hamid. When the radar data ended, investigators turned to satellite information from Inmarsat. The system checked in with the plane at 1:07 a.m. and continued receiving automatic pings long after transponders were off. These signals continued until 8:19 a.m., showing the plane was in flight when the initial search began. This final satellite path points far into the southern Indian Ocean, but no one truly knows what happened to flight MH370.
Due to the fact that there is no confirmed reason that MH Flight 70 has disappeared, many theories have arose. Now, on to what I think happened on this catastrophic flight. MH370 had work done on the oxygen/pressurization system before takeoff. This indicates there might have been a maintenance issue and caused the cabin to not pressurize correctly. Normally, when captains receive a cabin altitude warning horn indicating the aircraft is not properly pressurized, someone would use an emergency procedure to pressurize the aircraft. But what if it had already been too late? When planes are at altitudes higher than 6,000 feet without proper pressurization of the aircraft, it can lead to hypoxia. When hypoxic, you have a lack of oxygen to your brain and your body tissues. Without oxygen to the brain, people can't do the simplest things, let alone command an airliner. At a cruising altitude of 35,000 feet, incapacitation due to hypoxia can occur in less than a minute. Once you're hypoxic, there's not a lot of time to react. Due to hypoxia, the disoriented pilots may have not responded to that cabin altitude warning horn correctly and turned off their transponders instead. When Hamid realized he needed to land the plane, he could have turned back to Langkawi International, where he trained and knew there was enough room to land a 777. My theory is that the pilots in the cockpit, as well as the crew and all the passengers, were unconscious or already dead by the time they crossed over Langkawi. Then, autopilot may have been initiated and been able to explain the odd path that flight MH370 took straight south to the Southern Ocean before it ran out of fuel.
My theory suggests that MH370 was hijacked by 4 passengers who were skilled and planned the acts carefully. 2 passengers distracted the flight attendants while the other 2 aimed for the access hatch in the cabin floor, which leads to the airplane's electronic equipment bay. This compartment contains crucial systems for communication and navigation. It can be accessed without a key by someone knowledgeable about the aircraft's layout. Once inside the avionics bay, the hijackers could have easily turned off the transponders and other communication systems, which require specific knowledge of circuit breakers. This theory points that the passengers were trained to disable the plane's tracking capabilities. The flight path of MH370 after losing radar contact is seen as controlled and deliberate, suggesting it was deliberately manipulated rather than an accident or pilot suicide. According to this view, the plane was taken stealthily and with enough expertise to maintain its course undetected for hours.
In the end, every theory circles back to the same reality. Nobody truly knows what happens to MH370. The radar data, the satellite pings, and the timelines tell us where the plane might have gone, but no why. No confirmed debris, no cockpit recordings, and no final message. Whether it was a mechanical failure, hypoxia, sabotage, or calculated hijacking, the disappearances remains one of aviation's biggest mysteries. Until the wreckage is found, all we have are possibilities. What happened to MH370 is still unknown, but the search for answers isn't over.